Inside podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy, nor game design, nor know how to count. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
That's right, and welcome to Beardstorm, episode 299.
299.1. Because it turns out that it was illegal for us to try and go to 300 without doing the rest of these hour-long episodes. So we've got to make up a little bit of time here to
we actually couldn't get the correct permits. They found that discrepancy that we'd moved to the half-hour format. And they're like, no, you haven't made up the hours. It's kind of like when you go for your learners and you got the logbook and stuff.
Yeah, the logbook didn't balance. Yeah, it didn't balance, and the podcast accountants, they said you are not worthy.
They're very strict.
You may not go to 300. You may not pass go. You may not collect $200.
Yeah, so
in this case, 300.
As long as we keep going, I think probably about by PAX. You reckon we should be right? We should just about reach.
I think that's what the accountant says.
Yeah.
Said it's like around PAX.
Yeah.
Like it's like a live episode that we'll do at PAX with a few other people.
Because that counts for double hours when you do a live episद, so that should just bring us over the line.
Yeah, there may be like some other points that we do like around PAX.
Yeah, we'll make up the shortfall. Don't arrest us. Podcast Accountant Agency, the PAA, they're strict as anything, and we all know it. We're all, in
fact, they said this week we have to go back to click pitch. So it's what the accountants want. So,
3, 2, 1,
Ben,
click.
what is click pitch?
It's when I say 3, 2, 1, click, and we make it. No. Click pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us, and on the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we do get an adjective and a noun, and we say them out loud, and we turn them into a game. A video game design of some sort.
So, this is definitely not technically the episode 300, even though it would normally come in that position. No. We cannot legally say 300, but it is.
Yeah. And this decision to do this is going to mess up our own counting of how many episodes we've done for a long time to come. But look, we can't go against the podcast accounting agency. They're too powerful.
It was definitely not a decision that we made just before the start of this episode.
No, we've been going through the paperwork for it for weeks, trying to make sure we can do 300, and we couldn't.
We thought we could put in the previous 0.5 that we did, but it turns out as that was a previous podcast, they didn't count towards the hours.
Anyway, so, let's get on with the show. 3, 2, 1, click.
Bomb bacterium.
Ooh. Verbatim efficiency.
Ooh. A bacterium bomb.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea. I mean, it's kind of just sort of speaks to spreading some sort of chemical warfare or like viral warfare.
Or is it wiping out bacteria? Like, it's one of those sort of like a roach bomb sort of thing where you set it off. A roach bomb, you set it off and just roaches come out everywhere.
You set off this bacteria.
Oh shit, we got the wrong roach bomb. This is the dollar store one.
This one's just full of roaches. It doesn't kill the roaches. Well, then hopefully this isn't the dollar store bacteria bomb. It's the real one that kills bacteria. You set it off.
It's from a dollar store. You just don't know. Sometimes it's used by date. Sometimes it's the fact that it spreads bacteria.
This isn't even funny anymore. But I was going to say, you set off an area and just like everyone's gut biome just like dies, and they just all have the shits and like can't digest properly. I don't know what does bacteria in the gut actually do.
It does help it break down food and help not make you sick as all get out.
That'd be an interesting like take on some sort of zombie thing where, like, how often zombie movies or games or whatever, they need to have some sort of different visual thing or whatever to set them apart. This is caused by this bacteria bomb that it turns out that the gut bacteria not only digests your food really well, but plays a large part in human consciousness.
In fact, you are just bacteria. Like, your consciousness is just your gut biome.
Yeah, we don't. Well, it is part of the all your automated systems, all your lizard brain stuff is actually in the brain. You're walking, you're breathing, that sort of thing. But it turns out that consciousness comes from the gut biome, the bacteria in your guts. And so,
in fact, that's where this whole these game ideas are coming from right now. It's coming from our gut biomes.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so shitty.
That's why. Yeah, exactly. And you know how they say go with your gut, like
literally.
Yeah,
like
that's what's happening.
That is a saying that people say.
And so my point being that if they kill all the, if someone's gut biome is completely wiped out, then they become a zombie. But also they can't digest properly. So they have they're really bloated and,
they become more bacteria bombs. Like they actually become bacteria bombs because it's
something
now the
builds
zombified.
up in them that, that could be an issue. That's how they spread. Yeah. It's not through biting and spreading any sort of virus is often the way. It's if they explode in an area, they kill everyone else's.
Aerosolized.
Yeah. They kill everyone else's gut biome and they become zombies because their consciousness is wiped out.
Yeah. And the lizard brain takes over. And of course, when the lizard brain takes over.
Well, the lizard David Blayne, mind freak. No, different guy, right? No.
Yeah, David Blayne.
Yeah, mind freak. Technically gut freak, if you think about
gut
it.
freak.
No, the lizard brain is where your fight or flight comes from, right? And so these zombies will either run towards and attack you or they'll run the fuck away depending on kind of how that fight or flight.
Or is it Chris Angel mind freak?
Yeah.
It is Chris Angel mind freak.
Yeah.
David Blayne.
Who's David Blayne?
He's another one.
He probably freaks minds too. He looks like a mind freak.
Gut freak.
Gut freak.
That's the name of the episode anyway. David Blayne, the gut freak.
Gut freak.
Okay, so you play David Blayne, and he
no relation.
No relation. He's just a gut freak. He's a doctor of guts.
He's a poopologist.
He's a poopologist, exactly. Do we say David Blayne poopologist?
No, I like gut freak, but he's technical. His title is poopologist.
And I've got to say, David Blayne is spelt differently. It's Blayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that we
just to avoid any defamation.
Yeah.
We are not saying David Blayne the magician is a poopologist or a gut freak. No. Okay, it's a different David Blayne.
Definitely. 100%.
But he's a hell of a gut freak.
He's amazing. He's the one who's is amazing.
Figured out what's happened.
Yes.
And he's got we get to the point he's these zombie things are happening. He's sort of researching them. He finds one that's he's able to hold it down. It hasn't bloated all the way. He kind of studies its guts, and then he realizes that he's got to go out there and fight this. So he puts on a bandolier full of Yakult.
Oh, of course.
And it's Yakult grenades, basically.
Yeah.
Because he's got to repopulate
bacteria bombs.
that. Yeah, it's the other type of bacteria bomb.
Yeah, it's the good bacteria bomb. Yeah. He just shoves it down a zombie's face, and it just explodes in their
and then
their
they sort
stomach.
of wait. You see the consciousness come back into their eyes, and they're.
But it's a slightly different consciousness.
They shifted a little, yeah.
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 Because it's Yakult.
This is why I don't drink Yakult. Because I don't actually want to shift
because
my
it's actually
personality.
Yakult.
Yeah.
YACULT.
Yeah, exactly. It indoctrinates you into a particular way of thinking.
So it's a first-person shooter in which it's all melee stuff of shoving Yakult.
Yeah, so
Yakult bombs down their face.
Like in Doom, you've got the glory kill or whatever.
Yeah. You got to wake him up a little bit first.
You got to weaken him up a bit, and it's all melee combat. Kind of a bit
and then
of
you take off the bandolier and shove it in their face.
Not dying. That's for the Dead Island style.
Yeah,
not bladed weapons and stuff because you're trying to save them. But you just beat them up a bit, and then you just
soften them up a bit.
Open their mouth and just shove that Yakult.
Yeah, it's okay if their mouth gets a little unhinged a little bit.
It's just necessary. How else are they going to come back?
Necessary. How else are you going to get the hand down there? Yeah. Most people's mouth, you can't. Right down there.
Well, a little. It's a little known fact actually that the
it's even worse when you go the other way.
The bacteria. The bacteria in your body actually also tightens up your jaw muscles, and so without the bacteria, they all have very saggy jaws as well. So it makes sense that you can just shove that down there.
Yeah.
And then sphincters in general are bacteria powered. So
yes, they really are.
They really are. It's just Can't state it. I can't overstate it.
We can't understate it either. It's just stated.
It's just a statement.
Literally.
Oh my God. Ritual flooding.
Sentimental forbidding.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm sort of picturing some sort of religious ceremony, ritual that is done in this place where, they like flood the temple or something. Like they have these like underground temples or something that,
and it's flooded with like I'm thinking some sort of holy water in this baptism of sort of thing. But I think it's not that, and it's not one of the religions that we typically know.
No.
This
I'm
is
talking
just
either this is like some alternate universe or it's a cult or it's a whatever. Like, I don't want to go into current actual religions. This is just, maybe it's one of these like far future post-apocalyptic medieval, rebuilding from scratch civilizations or something. And this is a religion or a cult, if we want to go back to that, that's sprung up around. Yeah, this is just one of their beliefs. Yeah. Maybe it's something like, because you said sentimental, maybe there's something around like the spirits of their like fallen people will come.
I was actually thinking
and swim
that,
or come and like that they can only travel through water or something. Like maybe they're a very like liquid or water based religion that they have beliefs around.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that it might even be good to have, I mean, you mentioned something about medieval, and I started thinking weapons and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And the idea of having these sentimental weapons that are forbidden, like that you are forbidden to touch.
Well, maybe this is a bit of a coming of age story of someone in this town, village, whatever. And there is like a trial where they have to swim through the flooded temple to get one of these, to reach one of these forbidden weapons. And like only the strongest can do it. It's kind of one of these really brutal trials that, you get to a certain age and you can choose to take the trial to become one of the revered warriors in the town, but it's a lot of people just literally drown.
Okay. Ooh, I'm sort of seeing like something to do with, cause you sort of said, it's a coming of age story. It's sort of like, this thing is destined to happen, or they always hold it on this particular, night of the year.
Yeah.
And this happens to coincide with like, I'm sort of thinking this is like future Earth. So maybe they look up to the heavens, and as this person is about to start swimming, that's when they see like Halley's Comet sort of thing going through the sky. Cause I like the idea of, this celestial sort of thing that they now realize there's stuff going on outside of this world and on this world at the same time. And this is a sacred time because there's some text that actually says when. Yeah,
you can definitely like have some sort of prophecy around that. I mean, a comet is perfect for that sort of thing because then it kind of makes sense for there to be a prophecy around it because it's happened before, but it happens so few and far between that like
every 75 years or whatever it is.
In this case, that. And we obviously, I don't think we'd come out and say, "Oh, it's Halley's Comet" or whatever. But like, we could.
It's a fucking comet.
We could allude to it. It's a comet, and we could, we could say how.
Oh my god, it's a comet!
How often it
Haley,
comes.
quick, jump into the.
Yeah, the character's Haley.
Yeah.
So yes, I think maybe that makes this character sort of they consider them holier or whatever. Like they
special and yeah, there's something about the ritual and all this sort of stuff that makes you feel like this person is now destined for something a little bit bigger.
Yeah, well, which is a perfect way to start off kind of adventure story.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what sort of, because a lot of the time swimming in games is just shitty. Like it's not fun.
It's slow. It is slow.
It's it's sort of hard to get through. So I think we want to avoid that. I was wondering what sort of combat.
If you do it, you can actually, like, it's literal dolphin speed swimming of.
Yeah,
if you think about, like, Echo the dolphin could swim really quite fast and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm wondering if we really focus on, like, the maneuverability and speed within the water. Whether it's just that this person is trained for this moment for their whole life, so they're just like super dexterous and fast in water, or if they have as a culture like have some sort of tools or like they've, because I'm picturing this is a big temple. Like this might be the whole game. I don't know whether it's the whole game or the start of the game, and then. But I feel like we could build a game around underwater combat in some way.
Ooh, I'm wondering whether this is like a roguelike.
Yeah.
In the way that, I know, kind of getting an Outer Wilds feeling of, you know, when you die, you wake up.
Yeah.
And it's like, Haley, quick, it's your turn to go do this thing. Oh, look, a comet. And then you go do the thing. And when you enter the temple, it's like, you got to go through all these trials.
Yeah.
And as part of that, you know,
you're
going down through the.
Because what the Outer Wilds did with that was they had specific things happening at specific times, or like that took certain amounts of time, that once you discover them or like thought, like, yeah, like found out that they were there, you know, okay, let's get there faster to like see if I can get through that or whatever. Or
I wasn't thinking about it in that way. I was just more thinking about the fact that every time that you die, you end up back at this thing, like you're waking up for the first time.
And we could just go with that and have like random generation, and it's just that's the mechanism for the roguelike. But I guess I was thinking, is there something there? Like, could we do an Outer Wilds-esque thing where, like, actually there are certain things you want to get to at certain times in this temple, and yeah, like all these different rooms that describe things in the past, and like nobody ever gets to come down here. Maybe it's rather than it flooding every whatever, like maybe this is just a permanently flooded temple.
Yeah, or a sunken temple,
or a sunken temple of sorts. Yeah. Because I think
I'm just now thinking of Monty Python as like, so we built this thing and then it sunk into the swamp. Then we built another one. It stayed up for a little bit, then sunk into the swamp.
Well, I think this is, I like the idea that this is quite ancient and it's been down there for ages. Like maybe this is like post fucking climate change or whatever, right? Like the oceans rose and this is just one huge temple from some other religion. It doesn't have to be a real one. But
it's literally an office building.
It's like fucking the White House or something. But I'm just liking this idea of people go, you know, there's maybe they hold mass there or they hold like things there, but just in sort of the close areas to the entrance. And they have ways to like hold their breath, or maybe they just practice. Maybe this whole culture is around you to be holy, you have to learn to hold your breath for like 10 minutes or whatever. And they go in and they do a ritual, they do a mass, they do
There's
whatever.
Something about health is actually your air.
Yeah.
You get hit and you lose a bit of air.
Oh, that could be cool because you like blow some bubbles out of your mouth. Yeah.
And it's like your air has gone down. And then it's all about like, can you find an air pocket? And it'll give you some of the air back. It won't give you the full amount back, but it's like, it's cut down a little bit and it's cut down a little bit until finally, you know.
Air pockets could refill your health entirely. It just depends on sort of how few and far between they are. And then maybe you've got like, there are certain plants or something that kind of act as reverse sponges, or I don't know. There's probably a way. Like they take in some oxygen and you can kind of squeeze them out into your mouth.
I opened this chest and out came a massive bubble.
Very fish tanky.
It's like it's either fish tanky or it's like this is the Sonic bubble.
Yes, or Sonic. I know. Yeah. But no, I want to get away from the constant searching for for oxygen.
I'm thinking even if a minute is a very long time in a video game.
Yeah, it could be that. And depending on how you do the level design and that sort of thing, like you give them the ability to find things or to whatever to up that. And the whole point is like, yes, it's going down, but it's going down very slowly because these people know how to hold their breath, and Haley themselves is, you know, has trained their whole lives for this.
I love that my little throwaway joke about Haley is just
whatever.
It's so good.
I don't think we define a gender on them because that can be both, which is perfect. Yeah,
I love it. I really do.
And so then I'm thinking, because it from a combat point of view, I don't know if this is probably first person, I guess.
Yeah, first or third person. I guess it could be do like
person.
a third person.
But I'm just thinking you can have some cool traversal stuff and some cool movement stuff for like sort of you can. Because you're able to move in 3 dimensions then, right? Like you're not just on a plane with...
you're not on a 2D plane.
You're not really... Like, you're not particularly worried about gravity in that sense. Like, I don't think we're not limiting people. We're not going to have them...
You want to swim up and to like a ledge up there that happens to be just outside of the water, you can do that. Like,
or also, like it gives you additional flanking options. Like we can have enemies that literally like have a weak point on their head, like from directly above them or directly below them or something, and you're using different movement techniques to sort of shift through the water. And I think maybe they do have somewhat primitive tools, but that can like fire out a blast of air or whatever and sort of shove them in a direction. So you can kind of have these little dash movements through the air and stuff to like maneuver around through the water. I mean,
it'd be really cool to, dash behind someone and be able to stab and then dash out to the side and have a cooldown on the dash instead of, so that you can't do that, that thing in, the Dark Souls and Elden Ring and that sort of stuff where you can just spam the roll.
No, I think it's just more of a maneuver that you can do to flank or to get away or.
I think the cooldown is like, zink, zink. So you can
maybe
still get it pretty fast. It's just if you go hit it straight away, you get penalized a little bit.
Like you can't just spam it. Yeah.
I'm thinking you actually get penalized for like it's half a second if you time it right, then it's like half a second.
Yeah.
But if you hit it early, you now have to wait for a full second before you can use it
because we could come up with some, because I was thinking like you've got some sort of special flippers that like filter oxygen out of the water and then can blast them out after, in a burst or something.
Yeah.
And so it takes that time just for it to build up enough of a burst. And if you do it too fast, you just get a little like,
and it takes a little bit long, like they flash red and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So then they fill up and bing. I know the sort of things that I'm imagining would work well in water are like spears,
like harpoons,
daggers,
sort of stuff as well. Like for
a little dagger,
weapons.
I reckon would actually work well because it's like you're not swinging something massive. Just like it just
It needs to be aware of the water. Like you need to be aware of the water resistance kind of thing, slowing things down.
Like a rapier wouldn't work.
What sort of what are the enemies in here? Are they fish?
Seaweed covered, 100%. Like
right, yeah. Like
there's something about the deeper that you get, the more
barnacle covered, creatures that are
potentially the previous people who came down into the depths, like seeking these treasures.
Well, that's cool because then I like the idea of some of this sort of sea creatures in there that like infest their dead bodies and take them over.
So there is one thing that I would like to see, even though we can sort of say that, because it's a different thing every time. But if you die, there is a chance on the next run you're going to see someone in the exact clothes that you were just in.
Yep.
Except they're barnacle covered as if it happened centuries ago, sort of thing.
Right.
So it's just, they've got maybe the weapon that you just used and all that sort of stuff. And
well, I mean, maybe they're not barnacle covered. Maybe it's just like there's this particular type of creature that, like a parasite essentially, that will come and infect a dead body. And so they're actually like, they're really fresh. They just look like another person, except you can see because there's like fins coming out the side of their head from when this little fish like locks into the brain pan or something. And you can see their eyes and, they've eaten the eyes out or something or whatever it is.
Okay. One last game for today's, 299.1.
299.1, our mandatory.
299.1 FM. That's right. We're going over to George with traffic. George?
Well, we've got a lot of video games on the road today, and we're going to pick one out and see what we can see.
Well, what words do you have over there, George?
Well, I see a couple of words coming up on this game right here. I see rattled, and I see sweeping.
And I see competent penguin.
That's right. rattle sweeping competent penguin.
It's a penguin who thought he was like a rattlesnake, so he's like put a little rattle on his tail. And
a rattle penguin.
Rattlegwin. I don't know. I do like it.
Penguin is interesting. Penguins are good characters.
Yeah.
Is this penguin like a janitor?
Sweeping.
Or is it more like a radar ping sweep, like a...
Ooh, I do like that. I like a penguin radar operator who looks really smart because he's like wearing almost like a tuxedo, because he just looks like he's really... He's
actually
really dressed up.
Naked, but we don't
but
everyone just treats him as if he's wearing a tuxedo to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as far as they're concerned, like, it's just a dude in a penguin suit and he loves...
Well, hang on. Okay. That's a fun bit, but I just had the idea because I was trying to think, okay, what has radar operators? I'm thinking submarines. And like, like penguins who have made submarines to fight maybe like polar bears and shit when they're under the water, or orcas and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because I'm now imagining like an orca could really fuck up a penguin submarine.
Oh, yeah. So almost like like undersea battles.
I mean, they're super competent. And I think this is a top secret program that has actually been happening between, penguins and I kind of think it's a top secret program that's been happening between penguins and polar bears.
Oh, they're working together for like
the polar bears are actually, they've got a nefarious, like, agenda. Like,
of course
they help them out because, they really wanted to get their hands on that Bundaberg.
Well, the penguins are smart. It's the name of the sub. The first sub that you go in is the Bundaberg.
Yeah.
The penguins are the smart ones. And
yes. Well, they think they are. But really, the clever ones are the polar bears.
Well,
because they're the ones who tricked them.
I think, the polar bears are obviously clever. What I mean by the penguins are the ones who have figured out the technology, right? Like, they're the ones who have managed to build these submarines, and the polar bears are kind of protecting them from predators so that they can do so.
Yeah.
But yes, the polar bears are planning to betray the penguins, essentially.
Mutiny, basically. Ooh, and I like the idea of this hunt for red orca Toba.
It name's Toba.
Red orca Toba.
Yeah, the red orca Toba.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I know it was just a throwaway joke, but like...
No, I actually do like the idea. I think basically a submarine drama with some really like strong characters of both penguins and polar bears that are on this sub.
Threat of mutiny against this orca threat and this famed red orca named Toba.
Short for Toblerone. It's the last name.
Toba.
Toblerone. Lerone. You just like a French. What's their name? Lerone. Toblerone. You might have heard of them. The red stripe down their back.
Oh my god. It's the red orca. Toba. Now I kind of want to call it the hunt for red orca Toba.
We've got too many good titles this episode. This is basically what this podcast is we just spend the time trying to come up, like, the game design is a distraction. The real purpose is just the perfect title for the episode.
Really, the main reason for this podcast is just to make each other laugh. If we're having a good time, then we don't give a fuck.
That's it.
We're not going to find a better button than red orca Toba.
No, I think that is it for this week. So if you liked this, jump onto podchaser.com/bitstorm. Check out our previous episodes. I don't know how the numbering is going to work out with 299.1. Are we even allowed to put that in the numbering? I don't know. But it'll be in the title. So
we're going to find out when I try to put it in.
Yeah, we're going to find out. But yeah, shoot us a review.
Maybe it's a bonus episode. Maybe it's $2.99. Like, I can't remember what I did the last time that we did it.
I think it does let you put it in.
Yeah. Cool. So if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance, and it's off the album Containment Failure by the band Kuro Dust, which is a portmanteau of Kuro, which is black in Japanese, and dust, which is the shitty substance that lands on your TVs and shit. You've got to clean it out. So black dust is effectively what that was.
That's right. We're proud of that name. So thank you again.
It goes with our whole idea of colour noun. Best band.
Best way to name a band.
Colour noun. Silver Path.
Search
Black
that
dust.
out too.
I wasn't part of that, so fuck it.
So thank you again for joining us this week on Ben Storm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And what did that horrible red orca Toba do?
Ate every last penguin.
That cad. I'm going to bury him.
Here lies Toba.
Chocolate.